Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Not just a massive beer review. Massive beer review classic. Yeah, we like to pull those classics out of the closet every now and then. It's been a hot minute since I've done one. But I saw this, and I got kind of excited. Rogue Hazelnut Brown Nectar. This is OG stuff for me. I would say I love this beer, but I haven't had it probably close to a decade, if not longer. And it's just one of those things I don't really look at Rogue. Oddly enough, I reviewed a Rogue beer not too long ago. It was like a barrel-aged beer they came out with, and I liked it quite a bit. And I saw this on a shelf, and I went, man, I have not had that in forever. Good price point. Relatively fresh, too, right? This is canned in the past 6 months, which for me, and Rogue, and it's style of beer, obviously. It's not that big of a deal. I figured, why not pick it up, do a Massive Beer Review Classics. Here we go. What have we got in the can? Rogue Hazelnut Brown Nectar, ale with natural hazelnut flavor. A nutty twist on a traditional European-style brown ale, dark brown in color with hazelnut aroma, a rich malty flavor, and a smooth malty finish. They have this like little star graph. They had that on that beer I did recently too, kind of showing you what the beer's all about. They say it leans heavily in nutty, decently heavy in toffee, and a little less in malt, and quite not there in roast and bitter. Pair it with grilled cheese sandwich, pork chops, and bread pudding. 5.6% alcohol by volume, 33 IBUs, and 38 SRM. I love when breweries still put that stuff on beers. So let's see where the sucker lands. The first time having it out of a can, I'll tell you that much, and I can't remember if I've ever had this out of a can. I'm pretty sure it didn't exist in cans until recently, so there's almost little to no chance that I've had. Label-wise, it's alright. I like the old school label, to be perfectly honest with you, but that's fine by me. And beer-wise, it is a brown ale. Yeah. Has this nice, it actually probably comes off a little bit darker on camera than it actually is in real life. Has this nice brown kind of subtly hazy look to it, soft carbonation, pinky finger, khaki colored head. It looks the part. Let's get a nose. Man, that is hazelnutty. I forgot how hazelnutty this is, and that's absolutely 100% like super nutty hazelnutty on the nose. Big, huge nutty malts. It's almost hard to get past it. There is a coffee caramel thing there, like they talk about in the can. There is a soft little toastiness to it, nothing too big. It really is following those kind of flavor points or those aromatic flavor. They call them aromatic or flavor points on here. They don't. They just have it. They said that probably covering both bases on that one. But it really does follow that star chart to a T. So hand it to them. And honestly, it really comes off quite a bit more vibrant than what I was expecting based off of memory. I remember it being hazelnut, but I'm like, okay, it's a low ABV beer. How big is it going to be? But really, for that low ABV, that 5 point whatever, was it 5.6 again, or is it 6.5? Am I inverting that? 5.6. It really is pretty aggressively explosive, aromatically at least, especially on that toffee and nutty scale, with its ABV in mind. Drinking this blind or aromatically getting on this blind, I probably assume this is closer to something like 8%, to be perfectly honest with you. Big, vibrant nose on it. Rich, dark, malt-forward beer. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all. Not a great beer, mind you. So, that nuttiness, that toffiness, definitely falls through on the taste. Maybe just a hair. Pump and breaks this hair of what it's giving you aromatically, but I think that's a tall order to meet that in such a low ABV beer. So I'm not even going to sit here and argue about that. I think it actually delivers a nice impact of flavor at its ABV level. Where it really kind of detracts for me is on two things. Mouthfeel. Again, this is a tough one. This is a bit nitpicky, but it definitely comes off a little bit thinner than what I want it to be for the style of beer it is. Again, not a pastry beer, but it definitely has a desserty vibe to it. I'd like just a skosh more lushness to it. Being a bit nitpicky there, again with the ABV. The biggest thing for this, and this is almost a personal faux pas for me, I don't think it's really going to kind of register for a ton of people out there, is a subtle metallicness to it, subtle metallic astringency to it. Very little, very minor. And the reason why it's more of a me thing than a you thing, most likely, I'm hypersensitive to that. Especially on lower ABV, darker beers, I can tend to have this little bit of kind of like over. It's like the carbonic acid thing with me. It's just I'm hypersensitive to it. So if it's minimal, extremely minimal for me, most likely it's not even going to be there for you. So it's more of a my personal nitpick as opposed to an overall beer nitpick. But in the grand scheme of things, I picked up a sixer of this. I think it was $11. Taking me down kind of memory road, memory lane. I'm digging it. I really am. Again, this isn't going to Mount Rushmore status level stuff for me. This isn't going to be like, oh my god, I can't believe how tasty this beer was. It's just fun. It's fun to go back down that road. And honestly, it's a really tasty beer. If I strip away that subtle metallic thing for me, I think it's like, wow, man, this is really, really good. Just for me, it has that. Now, is it a can thing? I doubt it. I think it's a brewing process thing. But I don't remember getting that in the bottles. But again, not that the recipe hasn't changed. Man, it's giving me burps. But in the grand scheme of things, seeing a beer like this, getting a little bit nostalgic, picking it up, and, you know, I picked it up when I was sick. I still got a little snifflies going on. So I probably bought this a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. This was my first crack into it because I just didn't feel well. I just I'll pick it up anyway. And I've been thinking about it a little bit. I'm curious to see where that is. And I'm glad I picked it up. It's a fun beer. Would I pick it up again? Maybe if I'm in a mood for a small, low ABV, darker beer and Gunner's daughter's not around or something like that. Maybe. But in the grand scheme of things, you know, Rogue being who they are, not getting a lot of love in today's beer society, not getting a lot of love in today's beer world. This is the second Rogue I've picked up in about as many months, and they're both pretty damn tasty. So yeah, maybe I pick up a couple more Rogues. Definitely want to keep doing the massive beer review classics things quite a bit. And I got to get back on those. But yeah, fun beer. Is it one of the better beers? Dark beers, brown ale almost might default to that. There's some brown ales, if we're going to go like complete Mount Rushmore status, there's some brown ales, Newburgh brown ale. There's some brown ales that really, really do it for me, so it wouldn't be on there. But it's definitely a tasty bevy. Valued availability, again, off the shelf for like 10, $11, 6-pack, all day. And leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like not ales, if you like brown ales, I like English brown ales. I think it really is a well-done brown ale. And just that added hazelnut portion of the show, which I've always been gaga for hazelnut and beer, definitely hits those points for me. So if you're not sensitive to that metallic astringency thing that I tend to get in some darker beers, it might be a home run beer for you. Maybe not a grand slam, but a home run beer and a tasty beer nonetheless. Reviews in the books. Road, have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? Have you been to the brewery? What's your favorite beer? I think that barrel-aged beer might have been my favorite road beer I've ever had, but regardless, let me know your thoughts down there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of a old school beer right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.